Saturday Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor is presented by Sparks Hockey. Go to sparkshockey.com. Sunset Lake CBD. Go to sunsetlakecbd.com/morning brew. Use the code BRU20 for 20% off. Copeland Automotive Group. You can count on Copeland. Check out countoncopeland.com. And Fazenda Coffee. Go to fazendacoffee.com/morning brew.
And welcome into Saturday Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor. And if this day doesn't get you excited, whether it's for Snowmageddon on its way or a Montreal Canadiens Boston Bruin game at TD Garden this late in the season that has meaning. It's been a long time, my friend, since, well, I guess a few years ago we had some good snow. We didn't have good snow last year, did we?
No.
Some.
We haven't had a 12-inch snowstorm in a while. It's been a while.
A while.
Yeah.
Thankfully, but on the other hand,
it's kind of nice.
I think a lot of people are excited about it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of kids are excited about it for Monday. And kids should be excited too. And adults as well for tonight at TD Garden. 7 o'clock game, 6 pre. I think it's going to be 7:15 with Hockey Night in Canada, my guess. Actual face-off. But that's up there. You got Nesson down here, so Razor, you, me, Barry, Soph, everybody. Judd Brick bringing you the game. For the first time and again in a long time, this rivalry is a rivalry. Awesome. This is the third game of this season series. Who can forget the opening seconds of the first one in Montreal with the Struble-Zadorov fight? And Razor, this one now has legit implications. These two teams are 3 points apart in the standings, both playing pretty well to very good. I wouldn't say great right now. Both have their issues that we're going to get into. But to me, this is what it's about. But I don't get excited oftentimes for regular season games. Like this one feels different, my friend.
It certainly does. It's we've had two amazing Bruins Canadiens games already. Everybody's paired off that has the ability to pair off with each other. They have a few guys. Of course, the Bruins have 4 guys, or certainly 3. And on top of that, like you just said, they're two good hockey teams that have some flaws that yin and yang each other as well. So it's a perfect matchup. The Bruins getting a big win against Vegas the other night should feel very good about their game, winning 8 of 10 games. And the Canadiens are there too. And then on top of it, you've got 3 points difference, which, the huge 4-point swing here for the Bruins to really put themselves in a position to be in the top 3 in the Atlantic Division going into the Olympic break, which would be amazing. And then we have a snowstorm pending on top of it all. It feels like, for guys that are our age, it feels like 1988, 89.
Yeah.
And for everyone younger than us, 2010, 2011.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Our good friend Ben Boma, who, lives for the stats and that stuff, he geeks out on that stuff. It's his job.
Yep.
He thinks that this is the first one that of significance. He had it. This is him saying since 2013.
There you go.
Since April of 2013. Now, he's often right, just like our own P-Dub, often right with these things.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember that well specific. But if you think about it, the Canadiens.
Well, no, it certainly can't. It can't have been since I was doing this in 18 or 17 or 18, 19.
Certainly definitely not. Before that, because
it has to be.
Remember, the
that.
Bruins had 2 years
Correct.
Where they weren't good. The Canadiens went into the crapper for a while as well.
Yep.
They had a couple of good years. They went to the Eastern Final. What was it, 14 or 12 against the Rangers? Chris Kreider's debut. Remember, he was phenomenal. Yep. And he came up when he was with the Rangers against the Canadiens. I mean, Carey Price, etc. Point is, neither of these two teams have been on the ascension, if that's the proper term, on the rise.
Yep. At the same time
for a long time. So again, 6 o'clock pre on Nesson, 7, a little bit after 7 for the game on Nesson. This one's going to be, in theory, fun. Canadiens coming off a loss, Bruins coming off a win. Let's talk about the week that was for the Boston Bruins, because that's what we like to do here on Saturday Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor. And don't forget, if you want to call in, 617-779-7937. Feels like even more stuff to get into. I have to know as well where Team Razor is with regard to preparation. I heard that
it's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yesterday was a long day for Sir Raycroft at the store.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Good luck going to the grocery store today. If you're listening to this and you're driving around, you have not gone to the grocery store just for regular groceries, or you need to pick something up over the next couple of days, you better go this second, like right now, because in an hour and a half, you're going to wait 2 hours. You have no chance.
Yeah. I get up early, whatever. There was 3 things. Anyways, we live right near a store.
Uh-huh.
I went, it was like nobody. You should have just given me your order last night.
I should have.
And I would have done Instacart for you, Razor.
Yeah.
I would have done it for you. And I would have delivered it to you right here at EEI just for you.
That would have been the move.
You would have had 8 bags, but I would have done it.
Yeah.
All right, the week in review for the Bruins. Since last time we sat down here, not since last time we did a brew, obviously, but it was a Chicago night game, another game that we were looking forward to, even though different scenario, right? In Chicago against a young Chicago Blackhawk team. Bruins get down 2-0. They win the game 5-2. The game that Mason Lohrei said, I will take your trade rumors and throw them out the window and score a couple of goals and have one of his better games, if not the best game of the season.
It was well done by Mason. Mason's sister Zoe was a star as well. She was perfect in front of the camera, and just a really they went down early 2-0, but it was the only time this year down 2-0 that I remember thinking this is not a big deal. They played way better than this. They were unlucky to be here, and they're going to win this game, no question. And they did all of that, turning it on in the second period and the third, and really looked well oiled to be perfectly honest. Like their defensive zone, they look like they were really clicking to get their 6th win in a row at that time.
I believe so.
Yeah, so that was their 6th win in a row.
Yes,
and it looked real good last Saturday night.
Yeah, and it wasn't just Lohrei. It was also another D-man getting involved. We're going to touch on that, Charlie McAvoy, who's playing the best hockey of recent memory, consistently impactful, like game-changing impact. He scored as well there to get the Bruins the first goal of the game. Overall, though, the eye test again, and no disrespect to the Hawks. I mean, they're a team on their. How are the Blackhawks? This is what stats sometimes are fungible, so to speak. Still, how are they the number 1 and 2 team in penalty kill in the NHL is mind-boggling to me. You would think just given their youth in so many areas, but that's another talk for another time. All right, then the opposite happened a couple of nights later on the road. Perhaps a little too long. I mean, we can find any excuse, but the truth is they got their butts kicked in Dallas in a game that I guess felt, I would say the first 12, 13 minutes, I'm watching the game, and I thought the Bruins, I said, business-like approach. They're figuring it out. Now they're in it, but, you're playing a team that desperate. Dallas with a capital D was desperate in that game. And quite honestly, once they scored that first power play goal, it was, I thought, game over watching it. I just did.
Yeah, once. I mean, you took 3 penalties in the first, so you absolutely just you shot yourself in the foot. The one thing you couldn't do going into that game was take penalties. They all talked about it, I'm sure, and at length that you cannot take penalties in this building. They're a desperate team. They have a great power play. If we stay out of the box, we'll be close. They don't do that. They get the second goal scored against them late in the first period, and that's the opposite. Sway played really good. They're down 2-0. The exact opposite of Chicago.
He makes that unbelievable save on the Bork shot, and then the second Bork shot, Maverick, not Ray, gets the puck goes in. I know that was really a big, and the third goal was they're all buzzkills. But I just felt Razor watching that first goal. That was one of those cliche games where I felt it, or cliche, they had to score first to have a chance. That's where I felt they were at that point.
No, exactly, and that's why it was different. And now the good news is you come back home, you beat Vegas, and that negates that entire Dallas game. You can just throw it away and use those excuses that we say the word excuses. They don't use it, but the excuses of the siblings trip, the tiredness, moved on because of the big win the other night.
So you talk about Vegas, 40 minutes of fine-looking hockey, man. It was fantastic. And they scored, 3 goals in less than a minute, basically. 2 on a double minor for high sticking penalty against Vegas. And then right after that, Tanner Jeannot doing his best.
Pavel Datsyuk. That was
Pavel Datsyuk.
Yeah.
I thought I called it Patrick Kane the other night. It was Pavel Datsyuk. It was wizardry with that shot. And I was giving you a little heck. I'm like, oh, there's Razor's RVH. And then I looked at it again, and it wasn't RVH. It was, even though the goaltender for Vegas, big boy, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how tall, but
Kira Schmidt's probably
6'5".
Yeah,
right?
6'4". I was going to go 6'4".
And I thought he did that reverse VH, and he got tucked the earlobe side.
No, he went VH.
He went VH. Yeah, he did.
Went VH.
He went because Tanner Jeannot using his mitts to snipe the puck instead of crushing your face. Bruins score 3 in the first. They end up getting a fourth goal that was huge in the second to set that up because Vegas woke up in the third. Bruins taking the penalties again. And anyways, it ended up being a bit of a nail biter. But, and we could talk about decisions. Unfortunately, we have an hour here. If we had more than that, I would deep dive what happened the last minute and a half or so of that game. The too many icings. There were some brain cramps there, Razor, on the icings by Arvidsson, by Hampus. There were 1 or 2 opportunities to get the puck out. I mean, that was a moment where I kept saying up there, oh, they're going to get scored on. Because, you know what I mean? They gave them too many second looks, second opportunities.
Yeah, listen, these games, 3-0, 4-0, they in the NHL now, there's nights where it doesn't mean anything. It happens just like that teams are back into it, that the coaches are pulling goaltenders with 4 or 5 minutes left in the game. And players ice the puck. They don't mind icing it anymore. We were sitting on the couch, and we've done it a few times now where we've had 6-on-5, and we look at each other like, man, you'd go right to the minors if you iced that puck 15 years ago.
I think this is one of these
just the
analytics moments, which I don't completely get, especially given because there were 2 or 3. It was 2 times, right? Arvidsson and Lindholm, that a little less oomph on the puck. These guys are that good.
Correct.
They could control
correct.
the puck position, at least potentially control it. And each time it was like, nope, here you go. Just getting rid of it. Exactly.
Yeah, no, that I would, again, we don't have enough time to really dig into it, but I agree completely. There's nuance to it. I really feel like there's nuance to it. As a goalie, it would drive me a little crazy, but they're all in on it, so it happens. This isn't just a Brew. This is everywhere across the league. You watched last night. There's 5 2-1 games. Every single one of them are icing pucks at the end of games. But the Bruins hung on. At the end of the day, they hung on. And to your point, the fourth goal is huge because again, 3-0 is like the old school 2-0.
Exactly.
It literally can be turned around.
Isn't it amazing how in a matter of a decade
it's crazy.
That has changed?
It really is. It's probably the biggest. The biggest reason why the NHL's much cooler now is because those games aren't over. They used to be over. You could walk home, drive home. You could leave the game 3-0 at the end of the first period because no one's ever coming back from that. And if it did, it would be the biggest comeback ever. Now it happens once a week.
This is probably recency bias because I'm sure it happened before that, maybe with the 19 team. Maybe not, but in the record-setting team a couple of years ago, 22, 23, how many times did they come back from multiple goals down like it was nothing?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I know the team itself was phenomenal, but the league in general is doing an absolute ton of that. Bruins hold on to win. By the way, gorgeous play by the big Nikita Zadorov to help set up that fourth goal, right?
Sure was.
He threw Tomas Hertl around with a left shoulder check, and Hertl is not 5'10", 185 pounds. Hertl is 6'2", 210, something like that. And Nikita reverse, almost, I'll call it a reverse hit. It really wasn't. But the big man takes the puck down the right side, makes a gorgeous pass to Pasternak. Just gorgeous. They give one of the goals in the game. So the Bruins find a way. Marco admitted it. And by the way, folks, we had a long sit-down yesterday with Marco Sturm on Morning Brew, Jaffe and Razor. That's going to come out probably tomorrow. So make sure to catch that. We'll release that. Just a fun to catch up with Marco first time this year. But Marco talked about 40 minutes of really great hockey. The last 20 on the heels, too much. Give Vegas some credit. By the way, Vegas goes into Toronto. You don't think that was an important game for them?
No, they smoked them.
They smoked them. They were up. They were up by a bunch of goals in that game. Toronto comes back. They end up winning 6-3 in Marner's return. But a lot of good stuff this past week for the Bees. And now again, we get you set for Bruins Canadiens tonight at TD Garden coming up after the break. All right, 617-779-7937. A bunch of stuff to get into, including defensemen scoring, getting involved, the difference. It's been a major difference. Talking about the goaltending, in particular, a backup who is undefeated in his last 4 games. A major difference from what we had just a couple of weeks ago. And we'll take some of your calls, 617-779-7937. But for now, we're going to send it to our guy, David Razor. He took off all the layers. All right, I saw that. He came in with like 8 different hats on. Cold outside, but first, he's going to tell us what's trending now.
More of Jaffe and Razor on WEEI.
All right, welcome back in. Saturday Brew. Jaffe and Razor. Talking a little snowstorm preparation. Both of us, I think, are as prepared as possible. I don't know. What's the guess? Let's get a guess from David, too, from Razor. What do you got? How many inches?
I'll go 11.
Oh, under 12.
That's what I was gonna say. The exact same thing.
Well, then you should be like the Price
I'll
is
say
Right
13
and
now.
go 11. Oh, you're
I'm
going to
go
above
over.
it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go above.
You should go
them.
like 10.11.
I should
go
go
1 centimeter. That's the thing. And the Canadians do all this. I was doing a Canadian show yesterday. They're talking centimeters. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
Right?
I
Like
know.
they're getting 400 centimeters.
Well,
that's like 6 inches.
To be fair, it's
Yeah.
not just Canadians; it's the
I
rest
know.
of the world.
Well, I know. I get it, but it's more fun to say.
Yes, it is. But just so you know, most Canadians, I think you're getting more centimeters now because of the world, the geopolitical climate. They're leaning into that because when I was a kid, we used inches as well, just for the sake of doing that.
I'm going 14. All right. I'm going, and the ring near, I'm talking city west-ish a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Although I guess it's trending now upwards in other areas. Just, and this isn't really uncommon. The west of us and a little north get more, but they weren't supposed to.
Yeah, they weren't
and now they're going to, it sounds like.
Yeah, it doesn't. It always seems to feel like it does that. It's like we're gonna get a bunch, and then it ends up that Worcester ends up getting the 30 inches, and we end up getting 9.
Right. I'm still going with 14.
We're getting some.
We're getting it. Getting ready to work. While you and some others head out of town.
No, no.
It's good for Erin.
Oh my god.
You know?
She's so
Does she
mad.
know how to use the snowblower?
She could, but she's like scared of it and doesn't want it, like the whole thing. So it's like, it's pretty foolproof and it's ready to go. It's like, but I don't think it's going to get
same
used.
way. I don't think
it's
Well, I'll
gonna
be
get
home
used.
though.
Yeah.
I think I actually look forward to it.
I do too. That's the worst part. Is like I actually live for like this is. I'm excited. I always be excited to get on the snowboard, like hang out all day. The kids are outside.
This is like cutting your grass after being away for 2 weeks.
Yeah, you get so much satisfaction.
So
out of
much.
that
Yes.
perfect driveway.
Yes, exactly. So, and if anybody, by the way, wants to just come over with a big plow, I'd also take that.
No, exactly.
All right. Again, 617-779-7937. Before we get to Maria, we're going to take here a moment to call up the Apex Most Entertaining Play or Moment of the Week. Again, we went through the 3 games. Apex Entertainment brings you the most entertaining moments. 100,000 square feet of pure fun at Apex in Marlboro. Go visit. Go check it out. All right, what do you got?
I have the 54 seconds against the Las Vegas Golden Knights. No question. The 2 quick power play goals, and then Tanner Jeannot topping it off. We already talked about his great goal. The fourth line's great goal. For me, that's been the most entertaining minute of the week.
We can call it a moment.
It was a moment. It was 3 goals in a moment.
It was quite, and it was outstanding to see the power play, which is, the penalty kill has been. We're going to get to that as well, but the power play's been great all year. But there's been moments, little fits and starts recently. But what I loved is how they went to different things. Charlie McAvoy with the slap shot, the one-timer. To get things going, the different looks, right, the different feel on the power play, and then quickly getting right back at it again for the second goal. And as you said, the Jeannot goal seconds after that as well. Again, thank you to Apex Entertainment for bringing us the most entertaining moment of the week. All right, let's get Maria in here, and then we're going to talk about defensemen scoring, and we're going to start with McAvoy getting involved. But first, we'll take Maria Welcome in.
Hi, guys. I just want to give Nikita Zadorov a little bit of love.
Put him on the power play. Put him on the power play.
Oh, my God. What are they waiting for, Billy? He is so smooth on his skates. I wish he would do it more. Honestly, he's been a revelation to me this season, and I really enjoy watching him play. Now, speaking of defensemen, Jordan Harris. Sounds like he's getting ready to come back in. I was really excited to see what this player could bring to the table, what he was doing before he got injured. Where can he potentially fit into the rest of this Bruins season?
Thanks, Maria. Good for Jordan Harris that he's able to come back, because the fracture that he had to have surgery on, it's taken a while, and it's painful. It is. Talk to him about it. It's in a tough spot for hockey players. The movement that is necessary, but he's dealing with it, and he's down in the American League. Played last night, was on the ice for an overtime game-winning goal, which Fabian Lysell scored. I guess Lysell, by the way, tangent time. I'm going to say, Razor, a point a game in about the last 20 games or so, 20 to 23 games. So got a point a game going, so potential option time.
Played Bell Vegas last night.
Oh, there you go. All right, so overtime, and Harris was out there. I didn't see the minutes that Jordan played. Just by the way, guys, phenomenal person, just a wonderful human being too. So, and what more tangent, I do really enjoy about this team is how good these guys are. And I know it sounds kind of like, oh, well, you're not going to say if they're bad guys. You're right. I wouldn't if somebody was a jerk. But there's none. There's none on this team. This is a distinctly good guy team that I think it's part of their success this year, being like that. All right. With all that said, where does Jordan Harris fit? Well, Kolyachonok got picked up by Dallas, so he goes back there. Happy for him. He didn't get to play much here. I believe his fiancée is back there, and I believe she's pregnant. So that's good for him to be able to go back there to be with her.
Uh-huh.
But now you're in that good spot of everybody's finally healthy. Where does he fit? Yoki Haru's back. Jordan is the depth defenseman for this team. You need 8. You need 8, and you need 8 to be ready, because things can change. If we haven't, again, learned that previous seasons, this year, we've learned that can change in a millisecond in the NHL.
Certainly. And the caveat for him, for Jordan Harris, is he's been passed by Jonathan Aspero, and that wasn't on the big board.
So have a few other players.
That's right. So that probably pushes him to number 8 at this point. But of course, there's going to be changes. There's going to be roster moves. We're looking at 2 deadlines in front of us here. One in 10 days, and then the other one in about a month and 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
So lots can happen. Lots will change. Jordan Harris needs to play. When you miss that much time, you need to get back in and playing, and he can take the next 2 weeks to do that in the AHL, and then they'll make decisions from there. So I don't think anything. I don't think. If we had Don Sweeney on a lie detector test and asked him what he's doing with Jordan Harris, he wouldn't know either right now.
No, he's got to see how Jordan and his lower body, his leg, is able to respond to playing multiple games, displaying significant ice time. But got confidence in the kid, so that's where he fits. Thanks, Maria, for the call. Doing a little research last night, just trying to get numbers right, and the defensemen in the last couple of weeks, Razor, have contributed significantly. We've seen goals from McAvoy, which we're going to talk specifically about starting up, but Lohrei, who we already mentioned, who had 2. I think it's 4 goals now in his last 10 or 11 games. Aspero scored a goal. He scored in Vegas. You have Hampus Lindholm scoring a goal, Peak. And they've contributed significantly. I know teams say all the time you need help from the back end, but it's just such a glaring, wide swath of, kind of dark hole when they don't contribute, and the pressure that it puts on the guys up front. But the way that the Bruins, and in particular McAvoy and Lohrei, have activated from the back end now, it seems cleaner, it seems more confident, and it seems like they are not just willing to do it, they are able and wanting to do it more. And Charlie, in particular, in his last 20, since he came back, that first game against Winnipeg, 20 games now, Razor, has 4 goals and 12 assists for 16 points. That, your obvious comment of the morning, hold on to your coffee, folks, is what you need from Charlie McAvoy.
He has to be.
He has to be close to that regularly.
He has to be in the top 5 of scoring of the Bruins, and that's where he's found himself now. He's got 30 points. He's 5 ahead of Arvidsson in 6th place at 25 points. That's where Charlie has to be at least in the top 5 and to get depth scoring. You talk about secondary scoring, depth scoring. A lot of times it's not from lowering your lineup. It's not because the teams that score the most goals in the league don't get a ton of scoring from their 3rd and 4th line. They get it from the back end. That's where they get that extra scoring from, and that's what the Bruins need from Charlie McAvoy. That's why he is has the contract he has. That's why he's on Team USA. That's why he has all those things, because he's physical and great defensively and can skate. But on top of everything else, he can jump into the rush and get points and be a almost point per game player, a 60 to 70 point guy at the end of the day.
That would be unfreaking believable. He's yet to hit that mark. He's at 56 and 52 in seasons for his high. If he got to 60, I'd be ecstatic. Well, I'm talking on this year's because of his injury, he missed so much. But I'm talking that if he could be a regular 60-point guy in the back end, be unbelievable. Now, we haven't seen that yet, but can he get there? I guess, the next couple of years will tell.
Yeah, well, his pace is there right now, right? 30 points in 39 games, right? And listen, the reality is he probably isn't an 82-game player a year just because of his physicality and the way he plays. And that's, to that point, that's why he hasn't got to 60 points in the season, right? The years he got 52 and 56, he still only played 67 and 78 games. So it's great for him because of how hard his first 4 months of the season were and how much it sucked, especially when he got hit in the face with the puck and everything was going on with him. And he's individually and personally, there's no question he's trying to ramp himself up for this Olympics too, because it's big boy hockey and he knows it, and he wants to be a huge part of Team USA.
He didn't have what you would call a fantastic season last year either, even before the injuries, right?
No.
So this, to me, has to be looked upon as a major story for the Bruins, at least for this guy talking about the Bruins, because of the hope that we had, and I'll say we all, because I vividly recall us talking about it on Morning Brew. I remember talking it on the Nesson set with other guys coming, when Brick would come down, et cetera, and about the importance of them getting Charlie McAvoy back to McAvoy style of play regularly.
Yep.
We didn't get it as much this year. Now, lately in particular, we're getting it. 27-01 against Vegas, 28 minutes at Seattle, just 3 games prior to that. He has had, I'm looking, half of his games have been 24 or more minutes since he's come back from that god-awful puck in the face shot that he took against the Montreal Canadiens back on November 15th. So that's pretty impressive, too. So it's to a great spot. The Lohrei thing, too, I thought he handled, at least overtly, I don't know about internally, but I thought he handled the rumors, which, when I say are unconfirmed, I trust the people and the sources that brought it out. So you would think that he was included in any package, Razor, that would be going back. But to sit here and say we know 100% would be inaccurate, but let's assume so. That he heard about it, if we heard about it. And it doesn't seem to have bothered him. You brought up the point on Morning Brew that we did the other night, that you felt it's easier for younger players without families to handle the rumor mill. I say, I'm not that I don't trust you. I do trust you in that regard. I thought it was a beautiful point, because you're not involving other people that you have to worry about if you're going to be gone. However, first of all, everybody's different. And second of all, what about for the guy like that who's gone through for the first time in his career, really gone through it? That's got to play into it. All that said, at least overtly, he's handled it really well. And maybe now this is the kick in the ass that he needs, so to speak, to say, I don't want to leave here, which he said publicly, and to be a part of this team and up certain compete level situations.
Yeah, you hope so. And time the rest of the season will tell that. I think it's certainly in the short term, it seemed to have gone that way, and that's a good response from any player.
Have you been involved with players when there were rumors out there that you could feel and see a difference in them. And whether you have a specific or not, I'm sure, just in your head, thinking about we've talked about you going through the trade deadline before. Yeah. This isn't deadline. This is this was a mammoth, potentially a very big deal. But can you remember that where players you either would talk to or you could see or you could feel that they struggled when their name was out there?
The ones that are the more of the issue that I've had over the career is the Rasmus Andersons of the world, that they know they're not coming back. Everybody else knows they're not coming back, and you're just kind of in that little bit of a purgatory where you're not signing, you're getting dealt by the deadline one way or the other, and no one knows where. That's where the real effect comes. I think for the most part, when you hear some rumors, you know that people are full of it. Some, like this one, seem to be a little bit stronger, seem like there's a lot more smoke to it, but even in those situations, so much has to get put together to get deals done that really it's the guys that get affected are the ones that know they're going. That's my history anyways.
Interesting. Just so Lohrei, some context, Razor, in his last 14, the team is 9-4-1. He's had 4 goals and 4 assists. So that's the kind of pace you want to see him on.
Secondary scoring again.
Secondary scoring, exactly. He has not, and I'm just confirming this quickly, if I remember this correct, he hasn't gotten above 20 minutes in that time, which I think the sweet spot for him is 16.
Correct.
I just do. And basically he's averaged that. You like the fact he had the 2-goal game against Chicago. Previously, he had a goal in the loss in Seattle, and then he had a goal back home against Calgary. So there are 4 goals, but he's also picked up 4 assists in that time. A good stat line, a good eye test for that guy. I'm going to be curious. I don't think we'll see a change. Now, we don't know where everybody's at after a full day off, and the Bruins totally needed it yesterday. They're practicing today. By the way, at TD Garden, so if you're thinking of driving over to Warrior, you can do it. Just don't expect to see the Bruins on the ice.
Public skating.
Yeah, you might see public skating. You might see, I don't know. You probably wouldn't see youth hockey. It's probably too hard to schedule a game in that time.
That's right.
But that's what they could have done, Razor, in your situation. There you go.
Yep.
Leave it. Okay. Right. Sorry, tangent again. Here. But will we see like Henry Jokiharju come back? He and Nikita Zadorov played well those couple of games before he went out. So we'll see. But the lineup...
Yeah, we keep waiting, right? We've done this for 3 weeks now where it looks like everyone's healthy and then something comes up. And then everyone's healthy and something comes up. So today could be the day where there's actually a discussion on the back end and someone who's a very good hockey player won't get in the lineup. So It could be the first time all season.
All right. We're going to get the break. Coming up after the break, still want to talk a little bit about that second line. It has been really good, the Zacha line, and how they're making plays now that feel even different than in the last couple of weeks and what they were doing before. We can touch on the fourth line that had a big week the last week, the Corrali line. And speaking of big weeks, Alex Steve signs a contract extension. David Pastrnak continues to produce points big time. He's now 6th in the NHL in points. And Jonas Korpisalo, I want to get to him. We got a lot to get to, so let's get to break. You're listening to Saturday Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor.
We continue with Saturday Morning Brew, hosted by Billy Jaffe and Andrew Razor Raycroft on WEEI.
All right, last segment here Saturday morning. And the energy is palpable for both Snow and Bruins Canadiens. If you're just tuning in, 6 o'clock pre on Nesson, a little bit after 7 for the game, for the face-off. We've got everything covered. And for the first time in a long time, these two teams at this significant point in the season are both very much in the playoffs, in the sense of the playoff race and the intensity, which has been off the charts fun in the previous 2 games. How many fights total have we had? Has it been 4? 2 at least in the first game.
Yeah. And then 3 in the next one.
Was it 3?
Yeah,
okay.
Because Zadorov and Wi-Fi, they fought. Kastelik fought.
By the way, speaking of Mark Kastelik, it was so I say funny the other night.
Oh, he's so mad.
He was so pissed off
Yeah.
that he tripped up when he went to go fight Jeremy Lauzon, who's one of those great guys. Jeremy Lauzon, just a phenomenal kid.
Yeah.
He's doing well in Vegas now. Stood up after Kastelik throttled Shea Theodore with as good a forecheck F1 pressure hit, as clean as could be. Theodore stumbled to the ice, got throttled and crunched to the ice. And good for Lauzon, doing his role too. Kastelik, though, as they were going around, ends up falling, and he was so ticked off. You could see, as soon as the camera went to him, he dropped a inadvertent, word. Yeah. We caught it. It happens. But it was, and then you could see him talking to himself. Like the guy absolutely salivates at the thought of getting into a kerfuffle. It's just awesome, Razor, and that's the kind of guy that helps. It's a glue guy on a team.
Yeah, and a Boston Bruin through and through, right? That's
my
what
God,
the Bruins people want that.
So how many do we get tonight? Do we get one in the first shift?
I know. I was thinking that. I'm curious. I feel my head is saying no, but my heart says that they are just going to get it over with right away. Like, it's Saturday night. Let's
keep doing it.
Let's fire it. We've done it twice, so might as well just make it a seasonal thing.
So let's see who the Montreal Canadiens.
The pair off. That's what I'm curious about, because Jeannot has gone through Wi-Fi and Anderson. Mm-hmm. I don't know if anyone else wants Tanner Jeannot. Like, I'm not so sure. Like, that didn't really go well for either one of those guys. And Zadorov and White. Like, I don't know. Maybe Zadorov takes the night off. I would kind of like to see Zadorov take the night off.
Yeah, to keep him on the ice.
Yeah, they lost the game last time 6-2. That's kind of more important tonight.
Right.
Don't take penalties.
So the way it works, folks, in case the visiting team puts in their starting lineup first, mm-hmm. and then the home team decides who they want to put out on the
You might know how this is going to go by when you go to the game and you watch the national anthem and you see the two lines.
Exactly.
You check the two blue lines.
Right.
Because beyond that'll probably dictate how this is going to go. Marty St. Louis gets to choose how this is going to go.
The visiting team always has to put theirs in first with the official lineup, and then with the roster, then he marks who his starters are. Then the home team gets to put in. So we'll see who Marty puts out there, and let's see how Marco responds to it. After talking with Marco yesterday, and again, folks, we had a long sit-down with Marco, and one of the things we did talk about with him was having the battleships that he has, having the options in his lineup. While fighting has definitely changed in the game, there's still an element of it, obviously, and his eyes lit up when he talked about the beauty of having at least three, if not 4 or 5 guys that are more than willing.
Yeah, and the Canadiens are basically the only team the Bruins can't fully bully, because of the lineup they have. Bruins can bully every other single team in the National Hockey League with the lineup that they have, with the players that they have. The Canadiens are the only one, and that's why it's no coincidence that the 2 times they've played, we've seen the most action.
When Vegas is healthy, I think they would also be there with Colasar, with Lauzon. Do they have a heavy though? I mean,
yeah,
Colasar's willing,
he would be willing enough to.
Oh, yeah, do anything.
If Tanner Jeannot is bullying somebody, Colasar will go. Yeah, you're right.
All right, let's say we have one more call. We'll take it real quick, and then we're going to try to get through a bunch of things. Jason, welcome into Saturday Morning Brew, Jaffe and Razor.
What's up, guys? Yeah, I think there's definitely going to be a fight early tonight. It happened the last 2 games. There's more at stake. It's later in the season. Get the boys fired up. I think it's going down. Might not be first shift, but it's going to be early. I was actually calling about the deadline. I was reading about that Thomas, the center from the Blues, and at first I was like, I'm not really into it. And the more I looked into it, with the way free agency is now, there's not many guys available. And that guy's got 5 years left at $8 million. If it was a deal like a mid-round first and like Lohrei, Potsy, and maybe a mid-round, another mid-round pick, you think that would do it for Thomas?
No. So I don't. I think you're giving up. If St. Louis ends up making that deal, they're going to want a couple of those pieces, but I think you're going to have to maybe even throw in 2 first-round picks or one of your prospects that were a first-round pick. They're not – this is a type of cornerstone centerman that has – I'm a big fan of Robert Thomas. Mm-hmm. And the music. I don't mind it, too. But
No,
That's
I don't
a
think
mega deal.
I don't think they want to get rid of Robert Thomas. I think they want to get rid of a couple guys up
I
front.
think they want to open up opportunities to listen to offers, though, friend. I do. I think so, Razor, that they do. I'm not saying they want to move him, but if it's something like we can't afford to not do that deal.
Yeah, well, if you're the Bruins, then to that point, you're definitely giving up a center in return.
Exactly. Well, that's at least one of your
top.
Hey, by the way, Dean Letourneau, speaking of centers, and James Hagens last night at Conti Forum, Chestnut Hill, both putting up numbers. Dean Letourneau, the Dean chants are happening, and the Hagens, I mean, he is absolutely on it right now. Both those guys bringing it. What did they each have 3 points last night?
Yeah, the Bruins brass was in the stands as well, so.
As they should be.
Yep. They don't miss too many of those.
Good
games,
for those guys.
But yeah, there's a lot going on in the center ice position for the Bruins right now. A lot of depth.
Good stuff to always have. Let's rush through a couple of these things. So we got a ton of things to get to. Alex Steves, he signs a 2-year contract. About 1.6 or so per year, 3.2 total. Good for him. Got to keep up the physicality. Isn't scoring as much right now, but he's found a niche a role on this team, Razor. So good for him. The play give me Jonas Korpisalo comments real quick in the play of him.
Awesome job by Jonas Korpisalo again. He played fantastic, by the way, against Vegas. They only had 11 shots with 37 minutes through the game, but he made some big saves early on in the game, allowed them to get the 3-0 lead. Just continues to be invested, continues to battle, and you said 4 in a row. That gets him 2 games over 500. I've talked about being over 500 as that second goalie being vital. You can't get in the playoffs unless your guy is over that number, and Jonas is there.
Swayman pulled last game, partly because the team play, but maybe a little of his. But all right, you looked it up. He's been pulled one other time this year, and then the next game.
Correct. He got pulled in Detroit in the 5-4 loss. Bruins scored a couple late ones with like 12 minutes left. He missed Thursday. Jonas Korpisalo came in that Thursday. He beat St. Louis at home. And then on Saturday night, Swayman went back in and beat New Jersey 4-1, 1-30. So it lines up exactly how it happened last time. Hopefully the same results for Jeremy Swayman.
All right. David Pastrnak on fire again. Has catapulted himself back up. Obviously the 6-assist game against the Rangers 2 weeks ago, huge. But since then he's put up more points. And also he's now tied for 6th in the NHL overall points. Great stuff. A reminder, folks, we did 2 interviews, recorded them yesterday, one with Marco Sturm. We're going to get that out, I think, either tomorrow or Monday, a long 30 to 40-minute sit-down with Coach Marco, and had a great time catching up with him. We also talked to Jack O'Callahan, Charlestown's own, the only true Bostonian, as he said, that played on the 1980 Olympic team. Netflix has got a new documentary coming out in a week, January 30th. We sat down with him, talked to him about a bunch of stuff. That's going to be coming out as well. A lot of content from Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor coming your way. But for now, it's all about tonight. 6 o'clock pre, 7 o'clock game. Bruins, Canadiens, both teams legit in the playoff race. Saturday night at TD Garden when it's cold out. Get all your shopping done. Make your food. Get your beverages ready for tonight. It's going to be fun. This is Saturday Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor.